Welcome to the Orange Hammer Podcast. My name is Corbett Storick. I've been a licensed general contractor for 8+ years, specializing in new construction, renovation, furniture building. I'm the son of an architect and an interior designer, and I've been surrounded in this industry since birth, watching all aspects from concept, design, build, punch list, and of course, all the problems that come up in between. In my time in Durham, North Carolina, I've noticed a significant gap in knowledge between homeowners who need work and the people who do the work. On this podcast, I hope to break down the process of homeownership from the perspective of both the homeowner and the contractor in an effort to help raise the knowledge of homeowners about their homes and the construction/renovation process. I hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying the Orange Hammer Podcast, or if you have a topic that you want covered, or have recently done a project, please contact the Orange Hammer Podcast. The Orange Hammer Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Please like and subscribe, share on whatever platform you're enjoying your podcast on. Also, check out our YouTube channel, The Orange Hammer. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by CRS Contracting LLC for all your construction and handyman needs, new buildings to renovations, furniture building, EV charger install, or even a TV mounted. You can call me, Corbett Storick. It'd be my pleasure to help you. You can find me on Instagram at CRS Contracting. WSDG, the Walter Storick Design Group, specialists in architectural and acoustical consulting. Check out WSDG.com. And Taylor Bragg, for all your artistic needs in all mediums. You can find her on Instagram at brag_about_art. That's brag, BRGG, with 2 G's. She's the fantastic artist behind the Orange Hammer logo, and she did my fantastic table painting of my podcasting table. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by Stacy Sloan with Keller Williams Elite Realty, proudly serving the Durham and Triangle area for 25 years. Call Stacy at 919-972-1180. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by Rachel Z with Rachel Z Real Estate Team Realty. From the Triangle to the Triad, call Rachel Z at 919-323-6068. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Orange Hammer Podcast. Today I have Kassandra Williams in the house. Did I say that correctly?
It's Kassandra, actually.
Kassandra, okay. I should have asked before I recorded, but we're just keeping it authentic. So we met through the powers of Daddy Zuckerberg, just on the Book of Face. It's so terrible, but yet we get to... This is a little ray of sunshine that we get to pull from that terrible place.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I think neither of us actually remember, because we're in so many Raleigh, Durham, Cary, small business,
Wake
whatever,
Forest,
all
everything.
kinds of groups for small business growth and development. But I think I posted something, or you reminded me rather, I posted something about my podcast, and you were like, hey, what's up? How's it going? All right, let's connect. And then you sent me 2 business cards, and I was like, this is in my wheelhouse 100%. So come on the podcast. And you were like, done. When? Let's do it. So it's amazing. Our first meet is just us recording a podcast. Pretty awesome. So what are your 2 business assets? Are they under the same umbrella?
They are under the same umbrella. I have the Other Mother Cleaning Company, and we're doing commercial cleaning currently. We did start out literally a month before the pandemic, and we were going to be commercial cleaners, but then we got shut down, so we had to rebrand and think about like where we were most needed. So you're in your home. You're doing everything in your home. You're working. You're teaching your children. So we came up with this Alice from the Brady Bunch idea of becoming a whole in-home housekeeper without the live-in part. So I did that for about 4 years now. And then as I'm in people's homes, I was like, hey, you need this done, you need that done. Or I would constantly get asked questions, do you know a person who can do this? Meaning handyman work, remodeling, things of that nature, the floor. And I'm like, well, yeah, I could refer you. And I'm already in your house. You already trust me. So came along this idea to be the person. So I started the Lux Collective this past year, actually. And I'm really excited about it because we want to be the person that you go to for everything. For cleaning your home, as in carpet cleaning, gutter cleaning. We do pressure washing, roof cleaning, the air ducts, dryer vents. And then we take it a step further. Do you need a remodel? Do you need just the floor in your bathroom done? Do you want the handyman punch list done? You have one person that you can come to for all of those things instead of having to reach out to different companies. So that's how we started the Lux Collective, because we are a collective of all of the things we can do for your home.
So I'm going to assume you're not licensed contractors?
I am.
Oh, okay.
The people that work for me are subcontractors.
Right, obviously.
Okay, yes.
So I assumed incorrectly. So when you're talking remodels, you can go over that $30,000, or now it's $40,000 threshold. Yeah. Okay. So you really can be a one-stop shop.
Right, which was the goal. I actually have a business partner who's a real estate agent. So if you decide you don't love it and you want to list it, just like the TV show, by all means, we have that in-house as well.
Really?
Yes.
You have an in-house realtor?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you really do it really is a one-stop shop. And it's interesting how you started from the cleaning aspect, because I think that's the first, to my recollection, that's the first person I know who got into construction from cleaning.
Yes. A fun story. My dad used to own a bunch of rentals when I was a child. So I grew up watching him and hanging out with him and repairing things and doing all of that. So that's kind of where the love started. And then my ex-husband bought me a house, and this past year, just this year alone, I have done so much work to it myself. So that's kind of what got the ball rolling. And I was like, well, if I'm doing all this, let's be able to do more.
So when you were doing that with your dad at a young age, were you watching or were you helping?
Both.
Okay. So you got pretty handy with like tools and general home maintenance very, very quickly.
Yes. I spent a lot of time with my father because my mother's mental health wasn't the best. So I'm out in the garage. I'm learning how to, my dad used to flip cars to begin with. So he'd get the crap cars, fix them up, sell them. And then that's what kind of got him into the real estate. Is he ended up buying, I think it was 6 mobile homes in Central Florida. I'm from Florida. And then he was renting them out to kind of build his portfolio to be able to retire on that. And then obviously with that comes all of the making sure that you have to keep the home, heated and working, and anything that the tenant needs, essentially, within reason. And so we were part of that, going in, fixing them up, making sure that they ran smoothly. Learned a lot about plumbing. I got to be honest with that. I know that in Florida pipes don't burst necessarily, but because of the salty water, they do tend to rust and cause problems with the water heaters. So we've replaced a lot of those, and we've had to deal with a lot of being able to keep the salty air from deteriorating a home.
Yeah, it is interesting how the different like weather, or it's probably not the correct term, the different type of air quality in a different region can completely change how it affects the components of your home.
It can, 100%. Yeah. Moving from Florida to here, I owned a cleaning business down in Florida as well, and we don't have wood floors down there because that wouldn't make any sense at all with all the moisture.
Oh my God, they'd be destroyed in 5 days after install.
100%. Yeah. And so I'm going to be honest, and when I first moved here, I had no idea how to deal with wood flooring. So that was a learning curve.
Everything's tile, right?
Yeah, everything is either tile or linoleum or terrazzo, which they don't seem to have here.
Yeah, what's that?
It's like a polished rock, essentially. It's like concrete.
Okay.
Publix, actually, they have terrazzo floors.
Publix, the grocery store?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've been there, but I've never really noticed the floors. But now I'm definitely going to go in and be like, what is going on here? Yeah. Everyone's going to be like, are you just buying stuff on the bottom shelf? We'll be like, no, I'm a floor inspector. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Do you have a manager here? Yeah. Who wants to come on a podcast? What part of Florida? My grandparents lived in Sarasota.
That's where I'm from, Sarasota, Florida, born and raised. Very
small world. Yeah, yes. I used to go down there for my parents sent me to a school in the next town that wasn't the same as the public school in terms of scheduling. So I had a really weird spring break that didn't line up with any anything else. So I don't know who got the idea, but I was all for it. They would put me as like one of those unaccompanied minors flying with that like thing around his neck at like 10 years old, and my grandparents would be like waiting on the other side of the plane in Florida, and I'd spend my spring break down in Florida, and they would like just fatten me up with grandparent food and we'd watch the Masters because they're huge golfers.
Yep.
And we would play a lot of mini golf, and then we would go and always go to this store, Bells, which was just like the best clothing store. If listeners don't know what I'm talking about, it's literally worth a trip to Florida just to go to Bells.
They are the Florida lifestyle, original, recipe for wearing the lovely Panama hats, I believe they're called, and the floral T-shirts. They actually have one in Smithfield now.
For the record, I never wore a Panama hat or a floral shirt, but they did have just, you need like new shorts when you're a teenager every year because you grow 2 sizes. And they'd be like, all right, we'll send him back up with the school supply worth of clothes because that, grandparents like to spoil, and they were no different. And then I remember after like the second year of doing this, I started going down there with an empty bag.
Yeah.
Like an empty bag. I'd go like with a little suitcase full of stuff, and I'd put that little suitcase in a big suitcase and then literally fill the big suitcase up from Bells. Like
we still do
new
that.
Socks. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah.
I send my daughter, so she's going to be 17 in January. She likes to fly back there whenever we get a break, winter, sometimes in the summer, and that's what she does too. Fills up the suitcase and brings it back.
Yeah, people are like, why are they talking about this clothing store? It's just clothes. No, it really is amazing. Like, it's incredible.
They have so much stuff there too.
Yeah, and it's shockingly cheap prices for shockingly well-known brands. Like, my dad really loves these Columbia brand. They're like button-up fly fishing shirts.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And you roll up the sleeves, and there's like a hook for the sleeve on each side and like 2 chest pockets, and they're
in
just
the back
like,
they've got the breeze with the net.
Yeah, with the air vent. Yeah, so like once he found those not at Bell's, we then saw them at Bell's, and we were like, okay, we're getting one in every color for Pop. That's what I call my dad. And it's just like one of those things like why is this Columbia shirt half the price than it should be, but still brand new? Like it's confusing almost, and I'm all for it.
It's great. The one down in Northport, which is in Sarasota County where I'm from, they have a huge golf section.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you can get all of your golf apparel there.
I bet golf in Florida is like, spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. I am not a golf person. I like mini golf. It's very fun. And I'm just good enough that I can have fun if we go to a driving range. But like, if we're trying to compete, even at the driving range, you already won. And if we're going to like go get on like a real golf course, like I'm going to lose a lot of balls, and it's not going to be fun. I think the only time I actually played golf, it was like a foursome of people, and we played best ball, which is like, for those who don't know what that is, it's like all 4 of you tee off, and whoever has the best shot, that's where you all go and hit your second shot from.
That sounds way more eventful than the front yard golf I was playing as a kid.
I don't know. Front yard golf sounds interesting. We used to launch golf balls just like into the woods in my house in New York, but like we would never find them again. And we'd just like hit and silently wait for it to clonk into a tree, and then we'd be like, woo! Or we'd try to like chip them real short into our pond. We have this big pond in the backyard. But yeah, anyway.
We do that too, and then we go hang out in the woods for the rest of the day. Be like, sorry, parents, we're going to go find our golf balls.
There's woods in Florida?
Well, at the time where I lived, yes. Now it's a huge city.
Oh, okay. Touche. Yeah, fair enough. But now I just feel dumb. Isn't Florida topography like swamp?
Oh, for sure.
So when you say the woods, like, did you get in a fan boat, like something stereotypical, or was there actually just like undeveloped land that was
undeveloped?
Woods?
It's a neighborhood currly.
Okay, fair enough. Touche.
When we bought our house, I was.
You were born on a fan boat. Don't lie. You're
100%.
basically the water boy.
Well, Mama did say.
Yeah, right. Alligators. I got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
That's so true. Alligators were actually a big part of my life growing up because, again, being from Florida, wildlife is our pets. So growing up, my neighbor had an alligator in her bathtub until it got too big. Then she got a raccoon and named it Roxy. Then she had a pet squirrel. And we had snakes in our garage, and we had a tarantula and dogs, of course, cats. But
No, that's too much. Yep. No, you lost. You lost me literally at alligator in bathtub. I was like, I am good.
No.
Yeah. No. I like my dog. We're here with the studio dog right now. Willie's looking out the window at, I'm assuming, a squirrel. And I grew up with cats and then chickens, but they were in a chicken coop. Like, we didn't have them like in the house. They were eggs. You know, we had a coop with a wall in the middle, and like half the chickens were food and half the chickens were eggs. They weren't pets. Like, we didn't name them. My mom had the chicken coop, like, made my dad build it far away from the house because she's like, I don't want to look at them. I don't want to really think about it. Like, I just want good organic chicken and good organic eggs. And I was like, I get it. Yeah. We don't have to name them. But that's where we stopped. Yeah, we kill the snakes. We don't keep them as pets.
Yeah, now that you think about it, it's definitely different here. Everybody likes their cat and their dog.
Yeah.
There's no real what I would like to call exotic pets. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what I grew up with. Everyone had some kind of weird exotic pet. I always wanted a tiger. Watched Tiger King. Decided I do not want one.
probably a good call.
Yeah. Funny story, actually. When I was a kid, my school used to go up and do volunteer work at the cat habitat for Miss Carol Baskin.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Right?
That bitch Carol Baskin did it. Was that not the best show in eternity?
Loved it. We'll watch it again.
How was it so captivating? I don't even know. I remember when a client, shout out to Sam Jackson, his name actually is Sam Jackson, hired me to redo his deck. And then he told me about the Tiger King, and I was like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he was like so flabbergasted that I had not heard of this show. He was like, you need to go home and watch it right now. Like right now.
Binge watch it. You can't just watch
Oh,
an
I
episode.
couldn't stop.
Yeah, same.
I had no idea what I was getting into either. I didn't watch a preview. I had no idea what was going on. I had seen memes on Facebook and Instagram that were all about Carol Baskin, but I had no idea. And then I was like, okay, fine, screw it. I'll give it a shot. And I could not stop. I could not stop.
That's exactly how it happened to me too. I'm like, I'm not going to buy into it. And then 10 minutes into it, I was like, that's it. I'm stuck.
It's so good.
It's so interesting.
Yeah,
and like, whenever you find out that basically your labor as a child was what was free, right? And she's having these people come in and do all this work for free. You're like, I kind of feel cheated.
I mean, she may be on the right side of the actual letter of the law, but she's just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%.
Yeah, because it was a big thing. You'd sign up. You're like, I'm going to the big cat habitat. I'm going to be able to see these things. I'm going to be able to help out. And I never got in trouble. But if you ever did, you would go do your community service hours there.
Right.
So, I see how she's making it work.
So the exact same free labor and the exact same big cats in small cages. Mm-hmm. It just looks better, and she dresses in leopard, and she sounds nice. Okay, cool. Got it. Now that we've detailed that, everybody, you can skip Tiger King. We just laid it out for you. No, I'm just kidding. You really want to watch it. And then you want to watch the remade dramatic show. Did you watch that?
No.
Oh my God. I don't even remember what the name is. It might be like The King is Tiger or something. It's close, but it's like they casted real actors.
Oh.
And basically did the documentary as a scripted show.
Wow.
And it's awesome.
That's something I'm going to have to check out.
It's just as good. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. You know those Allstate commercials with the guy who's Mayhem?
Yes, I love them.
So that dude plays that guy who wore the leather jacket and had the do-rag and was having three-ways with his nanny who came in and kind of bought the zoo from Joe.
Yes.
I forget that guy's name. Jeff something?
Jeff.
Yeah, but that guy is played by the Mayhem actor.
Even better.
Yeah. It's so perfect.
It's on Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix.
I'm going to have to check it out.
It's so perfect. Anyway, okay. So there's our tangent for the day. For the record, we can do more because nobody controls what we say. Woo! Okay. So circling back. So at a very young age, you get, to my surprise and to the luck of where you are now, not a resentful and begrudging, oh man, we got to go fix some crap. You get into it. You like tools. You like fixing stuff. You're hanging out with your dad. That's all awesome. And so take us from there to it's COVID and you're starting a cleaning business?
So it's COVID, and I decide my child is going to be, let's see, she's going to be 5 the next year and go to school. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done being a stay-at-home mom. Like, what is it that I can do that I already know how to do and that I feel like is a good fit for me?
What were you doing before you had kids and were a stay-at-home mom? Were you working?
I have ADHD, so I've done a lot of different things. I started having children when I was 19, so I've always been a mother my whole entire adult life. And I worked a various amount of jobs that were not so glamorous. I did own a cleaning company at 18 whenever I was in Florida. Funny enough, I was called the Southern Belle Cleaners.
Huh, that is funny.
Right? And I was like, okay, we'll just pick that name out of the air. That's fine. So I did that for a while, and I was also working at Pizza Hut part-time because I had 2 children. My son, he has autism. He is 18, so he's actually in school in Brevard now. And then I have a 17-year-old. Then I have an 8-year-old. So at the time, I was working 2 jobs, and I'm trying to make ends meet, and I'm like, I need to go back to school. So I ended up going back to school, and I go to school to be a medical biller and coder. Go to school, get my certificate, get a job doing it, quit after 2 weeks because I have ADHD. I'm not going to sit here for 40 hours a week.
So you went through the whole schooling to get whatever you needed to be that person, and you lasted 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. I'm also just going to turn this a little bit. There we go.
I move a lot.
No, you're good. Yeah. Okay. So coding doesn't work out. So
So that's
you
out of
still
the
have the cleaning business, or did you like close it?
I had closed it to relocate up to North Carolina.
Okay. So cleaning, North Carolina, closed, then North Carolina. Coding doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
It's just...
So now what are we doing after coding?
So then I did dabble in some marketing. What I did was my mother had a company down in Florida that she was working for, and he wanted to build it up so he could sell it and retire. Great.
Cool.
He reaches out to me, gives me the opportunity to help build up his client base. Again, I almost had no idea what I'm doing, but after I got into it, I was able to help him raise it up to where he was able to sell it. He made a lot of money on it, and he was able to go on about his life.
What was his company?
It was a pest control company.
Okay, and he did more money, more people.
Right, so he
More
had a
work.
business partner that he had worked with for many, many years, and what they did was they were the lawn side of it, so they did like ornamentals, they would do your lawn care, as in chemical treatments, not
Right.
cutting.
Oh, okay.
And then they would come out, and like if you had a diseased tree, if you had, something going on with your lawn that you wanted it to be, green and not brown, those are the people you called. The company at the time was called Turf Master. And so it was Turf Master and Sarasota Pest Control, and they worked together to be a complete company, kind of like what I do with my girl Rachel. So worked for him, got his company, did a lot of sales and marketing stuff for him, realized, I do like it. I know what I'm doing. However, this isn't like the fit, So I kind of looked around and I was like, well, it's time to start a cleaning business because I had most of the stuff already from the previous company. I already have OCD, so I'm constantly cleaning my house anyway. I thought to myself, market yourself, make your own money.
Yeah, you also know the business because you already did that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I figured this would be not a quick way to make money, but an easier for me to start a business way.
Right. Okay.
Because there's no such thing as quick money.
No, not that's honest.
True.
Okay, so now you start this right at the start of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So the starting of any small business takes a lot of, people have to, I don't know how I want to phrase this, but it's hard for somebody to trust the brand new business with no track record. And respectfully, when I first started out, who am I to tell anybody that they should hire me? Oh yeah, I've been working under a guy for this long and now I'm doing my own thing. I'd rather hire the guy you were working for.
Exactly.
So, and that's across the entire industry. I think, I don't know how a financial advisor starts out, because that would be the scariest thing ever to be I have been a financial advisor for 1 month. Trust me with your money. Get the F out of here.
Right.
So that's already difficult, right? So we don't need to outline those difficulties. That's across the board in every industry, no matter what. But throwing the coronavirus on top of it I get more importantly, the pandemic would be the better terminology. What was some of the insanity that you had to go through? I mean, in the middle of the pandemic, I'm not letting you in my house.
No, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Being a germaphobe myself, my mother had sent me an email for a product called BioEsk, and it was something that was emailed to her, and they were trying to sell her on fogging. And so we had gotten the email, and I looked at the product, and I was like, you know what? I'm already a germaphobe. I'm already like wiping down my door handles, my light switches, and I'm sanitizing every area I can. This is a great product, by the way. I've totally get no compensation, but I love this product. You can use it on literally everything, including your TV screens. And it removes like anything, and it doesn't leave any kind of film. That's my rant about BioEsk. However, I get sent that, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how can I include this in? So we started doing obviously commercial sanitization. And then we include that currently with our housekeeping. So we just kind of started advertising, hey, you don't want to get sick. You don't want to do this. And a lot of people, I would give them the option. You can be home if you'd like to, or you can go out. I will clean. We'll wear masks. We'll get everything sanitized, and then we'll leave and you can come back. So that was my sell right there. And I actually joined a networking group, which was referred to me again, my mother, shout out to her. She's given me a lot of advice and a lot of help on how to make this work. So I joined a BNI group, and that's kind of where I got my start. I mean, I have never paid for marketing or advertising at all. I've done it all word of mouth and by networking. So we just started going in, hey, we are Alice from the Brady Bunch. We're going to clean everything. We're going to sanitize it. We're going to do top to bottom. We work in a circle. We do a deep clean level every single time. So you don't have to do it every 6 months. And with the OCD, that's the only way it works for me. I'm going to wipe down your cabinet fronts, your door handles, even the handles of the cabinets, because that's like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Especially the children.
I love wiping off all the doorknobs. It's like, yeah. Simple Green's my favorite thing. I love it.
So you understand.
Yeah, well, I have the same OCD, and I keep my house really clean, so I get it. Yeah. I don't know if I could handle it cleaning other people's houses, though, because I'd get too snoopy. I would just get too, like, I know myself. I don't want to steal anything. I just want to snoop. I just want to look around.
You know, believe it or not, people are not as concerned about their privacy when you're the housekeeper, you know?
Well, obviously, you got to trust the housekeeper.
Oh, 100%, but they leave.
Yeah.
I have seen some things.
Oh, really? Let's talk about some things. Oh, what kind of things have we seen?
We have seen toy chests.
Adult toy chests. Got it. I was like, toy chests are not that crazy. People have kids. Kids have toys. Right.
I've seen a lot of adult toy chests.
Adult toy chests.
And we're just like, okay, you could at least close the drawer, or
close the drawer.
Do something.
Drop the lid on the chest. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're just like, no, excuse my stuff. And we're like, okay, not a problem. I do have one rule.
Oh my God, have you ever been asked to clean the toys?
No.
Okay, I was about to say that's a line I'm hoping that would never be crossed. But
yeah, no.
I would assume you got to sanitize that stuff.
That takes a whole nother type of sanitization that we don't have.
That's not a service you offer yet?
No.
Oh man. Maybe that's a service maybe that's like, maybe that entire community would be like, oh, we have been waiting for this person to offer this service.
Just leave your toy chest in the middle of the room. We'll detail your dildos. It's great.
I've seen on Instagram, this person in Durham started a company where you meet them and they take your shoes and they'll clean them and then give them back to you. And I was like, and then, they're really kicking it off. So every once in a while they'll like make a video and they'll show like their hallway that just has stacks of customer shoes ready to be cleaned. And then the other side of the hallway is like lined with stacks of clean shoes, like 40, 50 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're killing it. And I was like, I could just imagine that being the service where it's like, all right, put your toys in a bag. We'll meet at the CVS every Tuesday at 3 p.m. And you got to come get them next Tuesday at 3 p.m. or I'm selling them or whatever. And it's like, I could just imagine that being a service. I mean, why not?
You know what? Nowadays, nothing surprises me as a service. Nothing.
Yeah. I have met more coaches of different varieties that I didn't know needed to be in areas that I did not needed to be coached in the last 6 months than I have the whole other time before my life. And I'm very confused as how like they came to the point where they're like, yeah, I should be a life coach or something other coach. And I'm like, it's kind of like a made up thing. To me,
Yes,
to
no,
me,
I agree.
respectfully, to me, not actually a made up thing because they making a living doing it. So
Right.
who am I to judge? But I can have an opinion on it.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I feel you on that.
Yeah, it has been a goofy thing. Okay, so I guess I'm going to assume toys tops the list of things you've seen.
That I could think of off the top of my head, yes.
Okay. Okay, so cleaning is pretty self-explanatory. You're doing commercial and residential.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about like a car?
No,
No cars. Okay.
I draw the line at cars.
Draw a line of cars.
And
Cool.
outside of the house, meaning I'm not going to be cleaning your porch unless it's pressure washed.
Okay. What about inside a garage? Sweeping, dusting.
We do actually do that, believe it or not. A lot of people turn their garages into offices.
Yeah, that's a big thing now.
So to me, it's no longer a garage.
Yeah. But like you saw my garage earlier.
Oh, 100%.
And if I was like, give it a sweep and there's some cobwebs, give it a high dusting.
Oh,
like
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
So I never remember the actual names of my equipment that I use. So I give him a great name. So Big Jim, he's an 18-foot extension pole, and he's got a little duster head on the end of it, right? Then I've got Mr. Bristles. He is made out of synthetic pig fur. He's great for blinds. He's great for if you have like a cow skin rug, because you can't use a vacuum on that. So I do that. And then I've got, a duster that's from Swiffer. I just call it the Swiffer. I'm sure that's pretty boring.
I call it the Swiffer.
Yeah, that's boring.
We all have that.
And then I do make my own granite cleaner because some of them out there are crazy. So I call it Dust as Grime and Shine.
I'm a little concerned. There's a lot of chemicals that we don't think about in cleaning supplies.
Yes.
And like, I am not anybody to tell anybody ever what to do putting on their body or in their body. But I don't think you have to be that insanely smart to read some of the chemicals and be like, that's probably not what I want around my skin or on the surface I cut vegetables or
Exactly.
or fill in the blank. So I definitely am not like one of those 100% people, but like I try to use, my laundry detergent has no sense. My like dishwasher soap, I think is it doesn't have, it's like removed most of that stuff. I use Simple Green, which is like pretty, I don't think it has any like crazy chemicals in it. I know my deodorant has stuff in it that I can't pronounce.
100%.
So like my Old Spice, I know it says aluminum free because that's like the biggest concern, but everything on the back of that I can't pronounce. So it can't be good.
No, and not that we are green cleaners necessarily. We just like to reduce the amount of, chemicals and smells. We're not you don't walk into your house and it's going to smell like Febreze or anything.
Yeah. But also you got to breathe that stuff in every day. So it's not just for the consumer, but for you.
100%. That's why I started doing it. Because when we initially started, I was using scrubbing bubbles. And let me just tell you, that is the most disgusting smell in a shower, along with other bodily fluids.
Yeah.
So in order to eliminate that, I created my own product, which is a disinfectant, and it doesn't have an overwhelming odor.
And you just mix it in your garage or something? Put it in a spray
100%.
bottle? Yeah.
You know what they said? Jeff Bezos started a garage, right? Everybody starts in a garage. I have a garage finally. Started right there.
Yeah. I mean, Apple, Harley, Amazon, they all started in a garage.
Right. I figured
Dell,
that was my issue. I didn't have a garage for a long time. And like I said, my ex-husband bought me a house and it has a detached 2-car garage. That's where I do a lot of my crafting, where I do my chemicals, like everything.
Okay, so let's jump right into the crafting because I think we covered cleaning. Okay, so the crafting's not for money, it's just for fun, right?
Right. There was a time when I did actually make a lot of stuff, and I sold it, mostly at Christmas time. I have one particular thing. So I have a really weird phobia. I don't like wind chimes. I don't like things that swing. And
sorry, you had to walk by one to get in. Were you like ducking to the left?
Yeah, I have to like breathe really heavy and be like, I don't hear it. I don't see it. It's like a weird thing, right? But like, much like what was it? There was a superhero, and I can't remember the name of him. That was like, I don't like this, so I'm going to use this. Was it like Batman? He's like afraid of bats.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He had like a childhood experience where like bats scared him after, right before he lost his parents.
Right, and then he became Batman.
And he became the bat.
So I started creating these out of pallet wood. I cut the pallets up, sand them down, stain them, and then it would just say, one more trespasser, and my wind chime will be complete. And it was made out of shotgun shells, and it would have like the one down. So I made a lot of those, and I absolutely love those. I still have a big old stock at the house.
I feel like I've seen those like at a rest stop somewhere, like at a Buc-ee's.
Probably.
I feel like I've seen that before, but it's clever. Or I think I've seen it with like 5.57 bullets, or like not shotgun shells necessarily, but that's pretty funny.
I've done that, and I've also used 45 caliber ones. Those make a little bit more of a noise, but you get more like from the shotgun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're big, like plastic,
Yeah, I've even done 223s. I love making keychains out of the 223 shell casings. So, love guns. They're fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
Made earrings. I had a whole craft business where I was just kind of making stuff out of bullets. I called it beer caps and bullets.
That's good.
Because I was making stuff. I would make like hair pieces, and just things that I would find for free, obviously.
So you're using all your own expunged shell casings?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So you're recycling.
Yes.
There you go.
Try to be sustainable.
Yeah. What's gun laws like in Florida?
Listen, they are a lot different down there. You can go to a yard sale and buy a gun, and it's no problem.
I mean, that's what it's like here.
I have not experienced that personally.
I mean, you can go to the gun show and walk out with a rifle in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a handgun, a little different. Like, I don't know. Were you referring to a pistol or a long
Yes, I was going to say
gun?
any kind of gun.
Okay, yeah. Pistols are a little bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit harder, but even still, like, it's not hard. Yeah. I mean, specifically for me, like, I got that conceal and carry permit.
I'm working on that.
Which, I mean, I highly recommend, even if you don't want to walk around with a gun, you just have it. It lasts for like 5 years and costs so little, I can't even remember. But, like, so if you don't have the conceal and carry permit and you want to buy a pistol in this state, you have to go to your sheriff department and you have to, like, be run through a database, and it can take a really long time because it's not a top priority and it's like slow computers. And I think they run you through multiple databases, mostly to see that, like, you have no domestic abuse cases, that you've never been incarcerated in like a mental facility, and that I think that you have no like felony charges. And they're probably checking for something else that I can't remember, but I think those are like the big ones. And then you literally get a regular sized piece of paper for $5. You can get up to 5 of them at a time. And that piece of paper is quote, the purchase permit. And so you have to so then if you want to go buy a gun at, say, like Gander Mountain, right? You're like, oh yeah, I want that one in the case, right? You got to hand them that piece of paper and they keep it. And there is the paper trail. So like if your gun gets stolen and you report it to the police, and then that gun gets used, and then the police knock on your door and you're like, nope, I reported it stolen. And then they're like, okay. And they track it back to Gander, and then they track it through the purchase permit and like through the manufacturer. There's a paper trail. So it's annoying. Mm-hmm. And even when you go to the store, they're going to do another run of background check. And that takes like 25 minutes. You got to fill out all this paperwork.
I mean, they do that in Florida too, but I'm saying if you go to a yard sale and they'll have 5 handguns, you could and you're good to go. Here's your money, bye. Yeah,
so like you legally cannot do that in this state unless you have that purchase permit. Yeah, like I sold my brother a gun, and he like bought a couple of purchase permits at a time. So he just like kept them on file. They last for 3 or 5 years or something like that. And I was like, cool, I legally bought this gun and you have a purchase permit. So I like went online and double checked that it was okay, found out it was okay. I typed up a bill of sale, and then I took his purchase permit and I stapled it to the back of the bill of sale. I made him a copy to keep. So like if his gun ever gets robbed, and used illegally, and then they go to him, or they would probably go to me first because they're going to run the serial number and go to where it was sold at Gander Mountain, which is for some reason we're using as an example. Then they're going to go and be like, no, we sold that gun to Corbett. Then they're going to knock on my door and be like, whoa, 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 I sold that to my brother. Here's the paperwork. Then they're going to go to him and he's going to go, whoa, 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 here's a police report where it got stolen before the incident. And then they're going to not arrest us. So it's all about protecting yourself.
Yes, I feel like there's a lot more accountability here.
I mean, yeah, but there's also a lot of, like, for some reason, even though it's super easy and not hard at all, there's a lot of people who are, like, really upset at how strict it is. Yes. I don't understand that. But, like, I'm also a hippie from New York where, like, guns are harder to get and ammo maxed magazines and stuff like that. And then I moved to California where it's, like, the most strict. So then moving here, where within like 2 weeks of realizing my apartment was not in the best neighborhood, my brother took me and was like, you should probably buy that shotgun. And it's on sale for $250. I was like, man, was it going to take 6 weeks? He's like, no, it's going to take 25 minutes. And I was like, woo, let's go. Yeah. And then I got that. Then I did the purchase permit to buy my first handgun. And I was like, this sucks. And I got the conceal and carry immediately. And with the conceal and carry, you just walk into Dick's, or Dick's doesn't sell handguns. You just walk into wherever they sell handguns, Durham gun shop, and you just whip out that card like it's your ID.
Damn.
And they'll sell it to you. Do paperwork, 5 seconds. Boom, done. And that concealed carry lasts for 5 years. And it even makes life simpler when you go to buy long guns, because I just bought a new shotgun. And
what kind did you get?
It's called a... I'm going to mispronounce it. It's a Turkish company, Pisner, something like that. So I don't know this company, and I'm not I don't want to be like, I'm such a huge fan. I wanted the Benelli from like John Wick.
Yes.
Right? Incredible shotgun. It's $2,500. And Benelli has, up until like 6 months ago, held those closed patents, and they became open patents. And this Pisner company out of Turkey made a replica. And I mean, it is so good that you can swap Benelli and Pisner parts. That's how identical it is. And it's $600.
That's a decent price.
I couldn't tell the difference. Like, other than the logo, it is identical. So I was like, oh, okay. I mentally was prepared to spend $2,500. So I was like, $600. Let me get a red dot sight on top of that. And I still didn't even break like $1,000. And I'm just like, this is cooler than I ever could have imagined. And if anything ever breaks, I'll replace it with a Benelli part. And slowly it'll just become a Benelli.
I was going to say, there you go.
One part at a time, right?
$600 start.
Yeah. So, and I was like, the store that I went to, shout out to TSA in Briar Creek, Triangle Shooting Academy, not the airport people. They have the Benelli, and they were like, but look at this, like, and then he told me about the patents, and I was like, what? How is that even possible? They were like, yeah, they held the patents for like, I don't know, 18 years or 26 years or whatever the hell the number is, and now they're open source, and this Turkish company jumped on it, and I was like, cool, give it to me, let's go.
They were just waiting for them to drop it.
Literally, they probably had it made already, and they were like, we just can't sell it.
They're
you just
like,
got to wait for it. Yeah, it's like Marlboro and weed becoming legal.
Yeah.
They're going to be making Marlboro 420s the day after that legislation passes. Are you kidding? I heard they have a factory built already that's just off. I have no way to know if it's true, but I heard a long time ago that they built a huge factory ready to pump out like weed cigarettes.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
And it's just off.
I know that they have a Philip Morris out in, I think it's Concord, Charlotte area. I know that much. My best friend lives out there. But also, right before I moved here, approximately 10 years ago, before weed became medically legal in Florida, I lived out by the airport and a really awesome condo, and they had purchased the warehouse out there.
Okay.
In hopes that, I'm quoting, because they knew it was going to happen. So now they have warehouse after warehouse out there they already had going. They know before we do.
Yeah, it's all about well, they pay the lobbyists who pay the what are they? Congressmen? Whoever they pay. And I don't know. The people up there, all those criminals. Yeah, I don't know. Both sides, they're all criminals. I don't care what side you're on. They're all terrible. Okay, so cleaning, we talked about. Crafting, mostly with pallets, which I love. I know we were geeking out over my pallet wall. I keep like 4 pallets under my deck just in case. I'm like, oh, let's make something. And okay, so now it's luxury. Sorry, tell me the name of it again.
The Lux Collective.
The Lux Collective. For some reason, I was going to be like, it's a luxury brand.
That's exactly it. That's what I wanted them to think, because that's exactly what the housekeeping is. We are a full-service luxury housekeeping company, right? So, and commercial. And so we wanted to do something else that was more on brand with what we were already doing.
Is it harder to price commercial? Because I feel like a house is like, what's your square footage? Okay, it's approximately going to take this, that, and the third. Bathrooms take this. Like, okay, I got it. Are we doing a deep clean with curtains, or do you want me to just do the regular every 2 weeks? But like commercial, like cleaning a bank must take 4 seconds. Cleaning a restaurant could take forever.
You're absolutely right. That's why we limit what we will and won't do. So we'll not touch restaurants.
Okay.
At all.
So when you say commercial, you're talking like
offices. Try to stay away from retail because that's a whole other headache. To be honest, like at this point in the game, I feel like I have the opportunity to pick and choose who I want to work with, and so I've narrowed it down to offices. And
right, because offices are going to have like, well, obviously there's going to be at least 2 bathrooms,
right,
and then the floor you're going to mop it or carpet it or both, but there's not going to be like pet hair. And then, maybe there's like a mini kitchenette, but nobody baked a lasagna. Somebody warmed up some leftovers and there's like 15 coffee mugs or whatever. And half the time I'm sure that's already like in a dishwasher.
Sometimes. I do actually have a salon that I clean, and they like to, microwave cook their whole meal. So it's almost a lasagna in there, sometimes. But we don't do dishes or anything like that. That's like their responsibility. So we're coming in and we're just basically cleaning up behind you, emptying the trash out, vacuuming, dusting, and then wiping down the kitchens, bathrooms, floors.
So like in an office, are you like wiping off everyone's computer screen, everyone's monitor, everyone's keyboard?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Unless they say otherwise. Some people are like, don't touch my desk area.
Right.
We're cool with that.
Fair enough. Yeah. If you do it yourself or just don't want it to be touched, that's cool.
Right. And we always tell them, hey, let them know that we're coming. That way that their desks will be cleared. So if it's not, that's the rule. If it's not cleared, I'm not going to touch it. It's the same thing in your home. If the door is closed, I don't go in there.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of like a rule of thumb that I have with them. We go over all of the expectations when I go in to do an estimate, just because I want everyone to be understanding of what's going to happen and what chemicals we're going to use, what we're going to do in the home. What are the expectations? What are we accountable for? What we won't do? I do not remove like those wax melts. I don't remove hairspray. I don't remove paint. So there's like a line.
What's a wax melt?
Oh, like those, they're from Scentsy, I believe. And they're just like it looks like pottery. And then you put the wax on top of it, turn the light on, and it just melts. And then it scents throughout the house.
Oh, so it's like an aroma thing for your house. Oh, okay.
So it's like a Glade, but without the Glade.
Okay, but it looks like a puddle of melted candle, and they expect you to
And sometimes
clean that
they
out.
have the plug-ins right against the wall, and of course, you walk through, you hit it, it splashes. I'm not going to clean it up because I like my clients, but not enough to replace any type of drywall, baseboards, flooring.
Right.
Because you have to use heat to be able to get it off.
Right. And that's the other side of your company, where I'll be happy to replace your baseboard as a carpenter.
Correct.
Not as a home cleaning service at a fraction of the price.
100%.
Right.
So that's kind of where it came in. And plus, I'm in your home. You already trust me. So it's like I get a lot of handyman requests.
Yeah.
So that's.
Are you doing those, or are you subbing those out?
Oh, I'm subbing that out. I don't physically do any of the construction part of the work.
Okay, so all subs. Okay. So when did you get your GC license, and when did you decide to get your GC license, and how many times did you take the test? Because I failed it twice.
So 3. My friend actually, he's does basements, crawl spaces, attics, stuff like that, sealing it. And I met him through networking, and he had just gotten his GC license. This was back this past year. I'm not exactly sure when. Great with time. And I also clean his home. So I had seen that the books were there, and I seen that he had gotten his GC license, and I was like, hey, can I just ask you some questions, you know? So asked him some questions and told him that, you know what, this actually sounds like something I should do, because I wanted to take my current company to the next level. If we're being honest, you're not going to make a fortune in cleaning. It's just not the way that it works. You'll make a living, but you're not going to make a fortune. So in order to I also have lupus, so I am to the point where I can't do 3 houses a day anymore. It's painful. So in order to be able to make...
Because you were doing the cleaning yourself.
100%,
okay.
Yes. So me and my daughter, and that's it. We have a way that we work things. So I do bathrooms and kitchens. She does the dusting and the vacuuming, and then I come back and mop, and we get our way out. It just works well. That way, if somebody says, hey, this wasn't done, I know who it was. That's kind of how I run my business too. So I have people separated by that. And ADHD, I totally lost my train of thought. It derailed. It happened.
No, so when did you, so you were seeing the books from a friend whose house you clean.
Yes.
And that's when you decided to study to take the exam to be a GC.
Yes. And so in September, I actually took the class from Carolina Seminars, and I'm in the class, and the guy was like talking about how if you have 0 construction experience, like physically out there doing it, you have a better chance of passing the test, because otherwise you have to unlearn all that. And I was like, well, if we're being honest, I understand how my home works and things I've done in my home, but I've never done it on that caliber.
Yeah, so I was doing like legit construction for a lot of years, and then I started studying for this test, and I was like, this is awful. I took 2 separate test prep classes. One of them I took twice, because he was like, you can come back as many times as you want if you've already paid. And I took it a second time, and then I still failed it twice. Yeah.
They say that happens a lot. So I expected to fail the first time. That's fine.
80% first time failure rate.
Right.
It's insane.
Which is weird, because when you go to take the seminar, they tell you 98% pass rate. So you're thinking, cool, I got this on my first.
We went to different seminars.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they did not tell me that at my seminar. They were very clear. They were like, 80% first time failure rate. Study up and don't get discouraged when you fail it the second time. Just reschedule and go at it again. And
1,000%.
Like, okay.
They told me 21 days. Study for 20 days. On the 21st day, take the test.
Oh, I didn't hear that one, but I think I studied for like 6 months.
My friend did it for over a year and still failed. I think he took it 3 or 4 times as well. He said he just kept getting discouraged, but it's like you get hung up on certain parts.
Yeah. Huh.
That was weird.
That was weird. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Hopefully it doesn't sound bad. If it does, listeners, I apologize. We'll get it fixed. Yeah, I'm not sure what was that. I think the internet may have gone down and caused like a little delay in, because we were like saying, then we were both hearing it like 5 seconds delayed. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So before that, we were talking about how you got your GC license. You failed it a bunch of times like me. But that was the clear path that you saw to expanding the business that you were already doing and enjoying, because you were already getting so many requests from people whose houses you were already in, who already knew you, already trusted you, and were like, hey, do you know somebody who does floors? And you were like, yeah, I do know that person. But all of a sudden you're like, I should be the middleman and I should be collecting on this.
1,000% is how that started. Because and not to toot my own horn, I'm great with sales. Like I said, I've never had to pay for any type of advertising or salesperson. I've done it all. So,
dude, I got to call you out. It's the second time you've said that. BNI is not free.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah.
That's a story. Well, I was only in BNI for about 3 months.
Well, you said earlier you're in a BNI.
That's how I got started.
Yeah, and you got to pay to join a BNI. So unless you have your story could just be, I didn't pay for it, but 99.999% of everyone else has to pay for their BNI membership.
Oh, 1,000%. And like I said, I was only in it for 3 months, and then there was some small town drama, and so I ended up not pursuing that.
I've been in... been in is incorrect. I've gone to probably now 5 different BNIs as like guests. Sometimes for like the actual guest day. Sometimes I just know somebody and they're like, "Hey, come to my BNI," and I'm like, "Okay." And I with respect, once again, cannot for the life of me understand why people do it. Like every single week for an hour, usually at a very inconvenient time.
Always 8 a.m.
With the
I
same
don't understand
people.
that.
I've been to a few there at lunch.
Yes.
And I've been to a few there at like 2 in the afternoon, which make way more sense.
I agree.
But either way, like 8 a.m. is not working for me. Like I'm still waking up or I'm already in the gym. I don't like do stuff before 11. Hence why I scheduled this at 11. Like that's how I've.
We're on the same page.
That's how I've scheduled my life.
1,000%.
And I'm happy with it. Yeah.
I don't go to work till 10 a.m. I feel you. Nope.
Yeah.
I need my time in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Some people can wake up at 4. Like my buddy Connor, he is at his gym that he has to drive to. Like mine's right there. He has to drive to his. He's there every day, 5 a.m. Like he's
like
Mr. 4 a.m. club. He's up at 4. He has his coffee. He's at the gym by 5. He's like home by 6 or like at Publix by 6. He gets like something to eat, a couple bags of ice. He's doing like an ice bath at 7.
Dear.
And he's like full on financial advisor by 8:01.
And that's why he's doing that job.
Right, no, and he's killing it.
Yeah,
but
entrepreneurs, we're on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's just like a different, I worked out with him one time on a Sunday.
Ooh.
And he was like, I was like, you got to come here. And he was like, okay, fine, I'll come there. I'll be there at like 4:30. I was like, no, I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. I need you to give me a little bit. So we settled on 6 a.m.
Ooh.
And this dude said that he still went to his gym and just did cardio first and then drove here. And I was like, dude,
No.
you're making me feel bad.
He's doing the most.
Yeah, you're doing the most, man. Like, what's going on? Like, I do not understand. But he's killing it. And once he gets his compliance sorted out, hopefully I'll get him on the podcast. I'm super excited about it.
As you should. That would be awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be the first financial advisor that's actually going to talk about financial advising. Because I had one financial advisor who just straight up couldn't get through compliance. It was like too obscure, apparently. He wanted to come on here. So literally, my friend Tom, I was like, hey, what do you do? He's like, I'm a financial advisor. And I was like, and that's all we can say. And he laughed and went, yeah, that's all we can say. And then we had a whole conversation about wellness because like he wrote a wellness book or a mindfulness book or some combination of the two. And he's been like through some trauma recently and really like successfully worked his way through it and wanted to share. And I was all for it. And we had an amazing podcast, but it was just super funny. I was like, I really wanted some financial advisor goo. I wanted some stuff, I wanted the juice that was worth the squeeze, and he couldn't give it to me. So I'm waiting for Connor to get through compliance. We've rescheduled twice, and then we finally, after the third rescheduling, we were like, let's not even schedule. You text me when compliance is done. We'll put it on the books. I'm not that busy. Like we can figure this out. No more than a week out. Like we'll figure it out, unless it's Christmas or something.
True.
Yeah.
That'd be a great Christmas present, though.
That would be a great Christmas present.
Just
Yeah.
saying, free financial advice. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't personally use him as my financial advisor, but the knowledge that he has just given up in an effort to just help me is incredible. And the way that he does it in such a friendly manner and how he has invited me into his not BNI, but similarly structured free networking group. And, even that we've worked out, like, I think we're going to a comedy show soon. Like, it's just a good dude and super successful. He has like tons of rental properties, commercial, residential, all over the place.
He sounds like someone that I need to hear from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right? That's 100%. Why I want to get him on here.
Tell me how you did this, because that's my thing. Like right now, I've done a lot of work to my house in just this year. I know that a lot of people take a little bit longer, but I've realized ADHD makes me power through everything. And so it started with doing a deck.
Yeah.
My deck was falling apart. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I could replace this and just put any like old deck there. But I was like, you know what? I want a pergola. So I'm actually trying to rent my house out. Not currently, I'm living in it, but soon in the future here, I'd like to do that and have that as my first rental and move more up here. My whole life is kind of in North Raleigh.
Okay.
I live out in Clayton.
Okay.
Shout out to small towns. That's why I say I didn't have to pay for advertising because I was a big fish in a small pond.
Right.
Everybody knew me. I could go downtown and I knew everybody.
Do you know Mike Bird?
He sounds familiar.
So you don't know anyone.
Not anymore. Let me tell you, it's been over 2 years since
You're just lying
been.
on this podcast all day. Yeah, I see right through it. Big fish, my ass. No, I'm just kidding. He's the only single person I know in Clayton, or like literally the only person I know. Like I don't know anyone in Clayton because that's not close to here.
No, and I was going to say, since the
now
pandemic,
I know you. Yeah,
you know me. Come down and visit.
Cool.
It's great, but like since the pandemic, a lot of people have moved in there. And that's kind of what it was. It was the small town. Well, now it's not so much anymore.
Yeah, but the road is still small.
Oh, 100%. So is the government and a lot of other things.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple of networking events. The RAP networking group.
I have yet to be there.
Super worth it. The only reason I've been missing is because it's Thursday nights, and up until last week where we lost, it was kickball season. So now that I'm done, I will be returning. Whoop! Yeah, but it's always like too many people to even talk to. It's so packed, and it's free, and there's usually free food of some kind, and usually a drink discount, and they do it in Franklin County, which is the size of this room, and they rotate it between small businesses in Franklin County to like help out the small business. So like I can't remember any of the places, but like one place had a pizza food truck, so the pizzas were just coming out for free, as much as we could eat, and everyone bought beers. You know, I'm the only one who buys club soda, but that's just my thing. But I
understand.
You know, but then there was at a different one that was like kind of an old school tavern that used to be a jail or something like that. It's like super cool inside looking. There was just like free Mexican food, like big hotel trays of Mexican food, and then like, you know, I think drinks were 10% off or something like that. Like it was worth it. I'm
gonna have to go to the next one because I got the invite, but it happened to be Thursday.
Yeah, it's always on a Thursday.
It's kind of an uncomfortable time for me too because I have to pick up my kid from school.
Yeah, for me it was always kickball. I was like, I'll never get back. I'd have to go literally walk in and be like, hello, and like back out of the door, back into the car and drive to kickball, which is more important to me.
Priorities, I get it.
Priorities, yeah. So, okay, real quick, what'd you do to your house? You did a deck?
So I built with a pergola added to it. We're going to do the cover your pergola here in the next couple of months because I want to make it, you know, waterproof.
Yep.
And then I ended up getting the crawl space encapsulated, and I got the insulation redone as well because it needed to be done. I got a new roof on the house. I got my gutters done. I've got new screens for the windows, but now I need new windows. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
We ended up getting, I say we, it was me. I got a new toilet into the master bathroom, a handicapped one because I needed one. I'm a tall lady. I needed a tall toilet. So I ended up having to do that. And then trying to think of everything I've done to this. Oh, my biggest thing, and I'm so proud of this. We got it fenced in. We have a nice privacy fence, but I have a custom gate. So I had that built. And then I personally put on a Ghost Controls gate opener, solar powered. Press a button, it just opens right up, can drive right on back to the garage, close it. It's so great. It makes me so happy. I actually decorated it in the middle of the night last night with some green garland and some wreaths.
So yeah, I definitely need to put a gate on my land that I bought, but I need to have like 4 clickers because I need like one for my car, one for my truck, one for my girlfriend, and one for the people who use my driveway as an easement who live behind me. So like I can't block them. So I need to be like, hey, I built a gate. Here's a clicker. Use it whenever you want. Just it'll auto close or something like that.
If you go with Ghost Controls, not non-sponsored, but I love Ghost Controls. They actually have the option to have a one that's sitting up, so you can just put in a code and it opens, and you don't have to have the remote. I personally went with the remote. I have 2 cars. So
can you do both?
No, I just got the remotes.
Can you do both?
Oh yeah.
Do you know?
100%.
Because like I could give the neighbor a code, but I'd like a clicker.
Yeah, you can do it all. And I mean, you pay a setup fee to have them program the clicker too. So, from them.
Maybe they can do it like in the auto garage opening thing that already lives inside the Tesla. Because my Tesla auto opens my garage door when I get within a certain feet, and then as I back out, it auto closes it. It's like the best thing I ever did. So that's really what I want.
That is really cool.
Yeah. That's really what I would prefer, to just have it like know my car, and then any guest I could be like, the code is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's why
you're
I
on
did
camera. Yeah.
I did that too. We have a security system, and more recently, like not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I got the front steps redone.
Nice.
So like just slowly getting everything to make it perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, security systems are definitely an interesting topic. I go back and forth on whether I even want one in my new home. I currently have one. I don't really think it does that much. The cameras really make me sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I 100% am putting cameras on my new house, but like I don't know. I go back and forth on the alarms. It definitely depends on like who you're using, what actually happens when an alarm goes off. Like some of them just make noise. Some of them don't call for help.
Oh, 100%. That's
So,
why
like-
we have CPI. I pay for that
Yeah, there you go,
every
yeah.
month.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that way I
CPI 's
know
good.
exactly what's going on. And I press
Yep.
the button. I know the cops will be right there.
Yeah, CPI, ATT, like they're quality. But I know that like some of them talk to your fire alarm and some of them don't. So like some of them will just make noise when the smoke detector goes off and will not call the fire department. And then some of them call the fire department. It's like, how is that even legal? They should all have to call the fire department. Like, what are we doing here? It's the whole point of smoke detectors. Yeah, it's very confusing to me. But, you know, I'm not in charge of security system, or I'm not the one who builds security systems. I'm just the one who's on the fence on whether I want to use it. I feel like cameras, somebody breaks in, I got them coming, I got them going, I got a picture of what they took, police report, insurance company, we're good.
Right.
You know, alarm's just going to make noise, and I'm like building a house in the middle of nowhere, so like no one's going to even hear it.
That was my whole thought. And I live in a neighborhood, but still
Yeah.
I wanted it so that I could see what's going on,
Yeah.
100%. Because what's the reason I did the whole fence? I had a neighbor come over and walk in my backyard without my permission up to me as I'm standing there staring at my beautifully built pergola. And she's like, "Hey, I'm the neighbor down the street." I'm like, "I've lived here for 2 years. I've never seen you one time. I have no idea who you are. Why are you in my backyard?" And then I kindly walked her to the front, but not before she had to ask me how much I spent on my pergola. And then she went and had an addition done and enclosed her back, like patio area. And I was like, wow, see, again, it was a
Interesting.
missed opportunity for me. That's why I was like, all these opportunities, and I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm the admin of a huge group, Triangle Homeowners and Subcontractors Connect. It's like 10,000 people in there. And that's when I started seeing people asking for, jobs and different things like that. And I was like, well, I would be a fool, to not take an opportunity to do these things. Because it's not like I don't have a background. I understand like how things work, and I've done so much things in my house. I understand that's the starting point.
Yeah, I think I'm in that group, and I post all the time, or I don't post all the time, but I see posts and I comment all the time, and I'm like, "Give me a ring. Here's my cell phone number." And no one ever reaches out because I'm like the 40th, 50th person who's commented, and I'm like, I don't know who these other jokers are, but I know I'll do it better for less money.
100%.
That might not be true. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So what are some of the top things that you do other than you very much said a couple of times you're doing the handyman punch list?
That's our current thing that we're working on. Just because, you've got a list to go to the grocery store, a guest list. You have all of these lists. Hand one to me. Let me do it for you. Let's get that house in shape so that when your guests come, you're good to go.
Yeah. I don't know what this is like, but I'm sure other people have this list. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When something breaks in my house, I fix it immediately because I'm a construction worker.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't have this list. Yeah. But I did make a grocery list yesterday, and I got to go after this podcast. So I do get that part for sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
just kind of like getting people to understand that, hey, we'll help you out with that. We're doing bathroom and kitchen remodels. We have flooring that we also do. So we're just kind of focusing on that right now. I don't know exactly where I want to take this, but I figure going to eat the elephant, you got to chop it up in little pieces, right? So
Yeah,
it's-
one bite at a time.
Right.
So you're not doing as many like blowing out walls, big additions, or any new construction.
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay.
Like this is very recent. I just decided to do all of this year.
But when you get those, when people call you for that, shoot them my way until you're ready.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I do have a list of
Yeah.
other people that are more capable and that I
Yeah.
will send it off to.
Yeah, because that's what I'm doing for sure. But also, I'm not working in the Clayton side of the triangle. Well, no, you're there. I don't need to go there.
Oh, no,
I'll
I'm
stick to Durham.
I'm trying to move up to
Yeah.
the North Raleigh
There's
area.
there's enough work for everybody.
Oh, I agree
Yeah,
1,000%.
There's how do we get your name? How do we get our names out there is really the only question, because there is so much work. It is insane.
It is.
And even, everybody's always, a lot of people are talking about like, well, interest rates and people aren't selling, people aren't buying, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what they are doing? They're taking that cash out refi out of their home and they're doing that bathroom remodel because they wanted to move, but they got scared of the interest rates. So now the renovation they were putting off because they were going to move, they're now doing. So it's just a different kind of work. So, I don't build track homes, so that never really affected me. But, there's so much work out here. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. That's why I said I'd be a fool if I didn't, jump in on it, because I keep seeing it and I'm like, you'd be great with this. You'd be good. Go get it.
Yeah. So when's your year mark?
September. This
September coming, or you just
coming? Yeah, because like I said, it just started. It sometimes the world just brings everything together at once, and that's kind of what had happened. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we're doing now. Because initially, I was going to switch over from residential to commercial cleaning, and then work commercial cleaning to be able to pay my bills while I, build up my general contracting. And it just kind of happened in 1 week. I have a showroom in North Raleigh. So, and I have a business partner who I like, again, in-house realtor. So it all came together at once. And I was like, we're doing it. Let's go.
Nice.
Jump
Did you do your continuing ed this year yet?
No.
I started today.
Oh, well,
I got two partnering it on Zoom this evening and tomorrow evening. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
No, I figured, well, I mean, I don't know how much you know about ADHD, but we can get, 8 hours worth of work done in 1 hour. We just need the anxiety.
Well, there's no way to speed this up, unfortunately. You have to do all 8 hours. So you got to sit there and stare at this dude tell you how to frame a wall that you already know how to do, and you got to just...
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking like, man, I should have like waited to fold my laundry then or like do something. I was like, maybe I could do this on my iPad and like sit on the exercise bike or something. I don't know. But yeah, very much not looking forward to it.
Watch the Tiger King thing while you're, also watching.
I've watched it all. Will we watch it again?
Yeah, why not?
I got to get through Loki first before I start rewatching stuff. Yeah, there's too much to watch once before I can start rewatching Tiger King. Yeah. Okay. So for anybody who needs cleaning or renovation stuff and isn't in Durham, because they should be calling me first,
100%.
How do they reach out to you?
You can reach us on Facebook, or you can give us a call. That's really it. We're currently building a website so that you can begin to see more of our work, because right now we just have it on a Facebook page.
And what would they type into Facebook, and what's the phone number? Oh, okay. Is it the Lux Collective on Facebook?
It is.
Okay.
So it's the Lux Collective on Facebook. And then, give me 1 second. I have two different numbers, and that is why I have to look it up, because I have one for the cleaning side and one for the Lux Collective. So the Lux Collective, you can reach us at 919-726-8872. I believe that's actually the wrong number.
Oh, well, that's not helpful.
No, it's not. I apologize. You're gonna edit this out, right?
No.
Damn. Listen, we all make mistakes.
You should know your number of your company.
You should. However, I don't answer the phone. So the actual number is 919-348-9661. And we just got it last week, and that's why.
Okay.
We had to do a little switcheroo on our phone number. The person who had our previous number didn't pay any of their bills, and I just got really tired of having spam calls all the time. It's spam in my opinion, because I'm not going to pay your bills, dude, or chick, whoever you are.
Yeah, I get a lot of spam calls, but the phone's pretty good at saying potential spam, and I just like don't pick it up. Yeah.
Oh, see,
it's pretty good.
Like, oh, business phone. Oh, you didn't pay your bills.
Yeah. A lot of times they still get through, and it's the worst when it's like you pick up the phone, hello, and then as you say hello again, you hear boop, and it like cues somebody to be like, "Is this CRS contracting?" And they don't know how to say contracting correctly.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "What there's no way that this is real." And they're like trying to sell me like it's so hilarious, the stuff that they're trying to sell me or the scams they're trying to pull. I'm like, I cannot believe that you have enough success rate that you still do this. No. But anyway, there's my rant. Yeah, and as always, the Orange Hammer Podcast is on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, Spotify. You're probably listening to this on. And if you need CRS contracting or want to come on the podcast or want me to talk about something specific, reach out, email corb, C-O-R-B, at WSTG.com or call me 845-489-6057. Would love to hear from you. And I just want to thank you for coming out. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
It was great.
All right, bye, everybody.